Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'd first like to thank our student ambassadors, student volunteers, and representatives of the university staff for serving as ushers today and for their warm welcome as we entered the auditorium. I'd also like to thank Michelle Reynolds and Melissa Cruz for providing our interpretation this afternoon. Thanks to you. I'd now like to present the members of the stage party, and I'll ask them to stand, and I'll ask you to hold your applause until I've introduced all of them. First, we welcome a new member, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Junius Gonzalez, who's off to a great start since joining UTEP in February during the Big Freeze. Senior Executive Vice President Howard Daudistow. Vice President for Information Resources and Planning, Steve Ryder. Vice President for Research, Roberto Segueda. Newly appointed Interim Vice President for Student Affairs, Gary Edens. Athletic Director, Bob Stull. President of the Faculty Senate, Carl Lieb. Chair of the Graduate Council, Lawrence Elzey. Dean of the College of Business Administration, Robert Nachman. Dean of the College of Education, Josefina Tinajero. Newly appointed Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Pat Witherspoon. Dean of the College of Health Sciences, Kathleen Curtis. Dean of the School of Nursing, Elias Provencio Vasquez. Dean of the College of Science, Ani Morrobel Sosa. Interim Dean of the Graduate School, Benjamin Flores. Director of Human Resource Services, Andrew Peña. UTEP Student Government Association President, Pablo Padilla, and Chair of the Staff Council, Melanie Thomas. Thank you all for all that you do. Human Resources Director Andrew Peña will now present the service awards.
Thank you, Dr. Natalicio. Good afternoon, and welcome to this grand celebration as we honor our faculty and staff for their years of service to the UTEP community. This afternoon, we'll be presenting service awards to faculty and staff who have served the university from 5 to 45 years. The total number of years of service represented by the 291 employees listed in your program is 3,875 years. At this time, I would like to ask all of the 5-year service award recipients to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your contribution that you've made to UTEP and to all of our students. We will now begin our program by presenting the recipients, beginning with the 10-year service award. I ask that you please hold your applause until all of the recipients have been called. Thank you.
Now recognizing 10 years of service, Estrella Escobar. Dr. Frank Perez. Dr. Beth Brunk Chavez. Jorge Vasquez. Andy A. Castellanos. Dr. Stephanie Myers. Natividad Pasillas. William Peters. Kathy Poorman. Benjamín Delgado. Marcela Nungaray. Dr. Ana Huerta Macías. Dr. Olga M. Kosheleva. Lupe Lopez. Dr. George A. King. Mary Solis. Ernesto Robles. Dr. Cesar Rosato. Olga Rodriguez. Irene Aragon. Marcia Olvera. Dr. Lisa Campos. Dr. Armando Stewart Gonzalez. Dr. Armitaba Bisbas. Dr. John Simmons. Dr. Yolanda Leiva. Dr. Meredith Abarca. Carlos Roberto González. Dr. Rodolfo Rincones. Nora Hernández. Sikora A. Wilson James. Ceci de Santiago. Denise Luján. Cassandra La Chica Chávez. Georgina Antillón. Jaime Méndez. Greg McNichol. Dr. Alberto Correa. Blanca Carrasco. Dr. Xinyang Jiang. Chris Loya. Dr. Virgilio González. Dr. Jose R. Peralta. Melanie Thomas. Andrew M. Pena. Now recognizing 15 years of service, Guadalupe V. Muro. Julieta Acevedo. Dr. Tom Fullerton. Hilario Gámez. Lucille E. Dominguez. María G. Carizales. José B. Flores. Bob W. Clapthorne. Carmen P. Tavares. Norma Saavedra. Dr. John Darish. John K. Fahey. Dr. Russ Chianelli. Dr. Patricia Naba. Mike Facio. Lourdes Che. Ana El Arzola. Dr. Jose O. Rivera. Heriberto Nungaray. Dr. Imad N. Abdallah. Now recognizing 20 years of service, Pat Dominguez. Yolanda Torres. Carol B. Hicks. Tita Yanar. Dr. Arturo Pacheco. Jorge Portillo Hernández. Ramona Segura. Betsabe Castro Duarte. Richard A. Dugan. Dr. Tom Schmidt. Juana Rivas. Mary E. Contreras. Dr. Ann Gates. Rajesh Tailiani. Dr. Maria Socorro Tabuenca Córdoba. Dr. Peter Mashkopoulos. Andy H. Orozco. Marilu Gámez. And now recognizing 15 years of service, Bob W. Stull. Recognizing 25 years of service, Jose R. Torres. Luz M. Anchondo. Dr. Carl Putnam. Miguel Cifuentes. Linda Nojambadem. Stella M. Burns. Jesus Manuel Conde. Dr. Michael P. Eastman. Dr. Ronald J. Weber. Kathleen Flores. Michael J. Salazar. And now recognizing 30 years of service, Juan A. Sandoval. Fernando Mabini. Dr. David Ross. Dr. Kevin E. Shannon. Dr. Maria A. Amaya. Rito Luna. Dr. William Doyle Smith. Dr. Josefina V. Tinajero. Dr. Carl S. Lieb. And now recognizing 35 years of service, Maria Teresa Torres. Dr. Ron Hofstadter. Professor Rochelle Thieves. Dr. Stephen Stafford. And now recognizing 40 years of service, Dr. John R. Dick. And Dr. Diana Natalicio. And recognizing 45 years of service to the university, Dr. Yasuhide Kawashima.
Please join me in thanking Dr. Matthew Deasing, our reader, and Ivan Carranza, his assistant, for presenting our valued colleagues.
There's much to celebrate on the UTEP campus today as we mark the beginning of another academic year with this, our annual Convocation ceremony. First and foremost, we celebrate the arrival this fall of our new and returning students, entrusting us with their dreams and aspirations for a brighter future through the power of education. Enrollment increased by 2.5% this year for a total of 22,640 students, continuing UTEP's steady growth over more than a decade. Once again, the majority of these students, 90% of them, come from this Paso del Norte region, 84% from El Paso County, and 6% from Mexico. Demographically, our U.S. student population mirrors that of the surrounding region. 78% are Hispanic, 9% Anglo, and 3% African American. UTEP proudly sets the pace nationally as the only research university in the United States with a Mexican-American majority student population. Next, there are the dedicated faculty and staff members, some of whom we've just honored for their years of service to UTEP and to our students. These colleagues and friends, together with all the other esteemed members of the UTEP team who work side by side with them, and that's all of you, are the fundamental reason that UTEP has been so successful in achieving our highly ambitious goals over the past quarter century. Together, we are successfully transforming this university, pursuing a quest for excellence while strengthening our commitment to access, and thereby creating a new higher education model that is not only working in our setting, but attracting widespread respect and emulation. Then there's our beautiful new University Mace, which today makes its debut in what will now become regular appearances at such special events as convocations and commencements. The Mace was created by UTEP alumna and medalsmith Beverly Penn, now a faculty member at Texas State University, and recognized at our homecoming last year as College of Liberal Arts Gold Nugget. If you haven't had an opportunity to visit the exhibit, which tells the fascinating story of the design and fabrication of our new mace, I hope you'll join us in the Stanley and Gerald Rubin Center for the reception immediately following this convocation, where you'll be able to see it up close and learn more about it. The new mace will be part of the lasting legacy of UTEP's Centennial commemoration in 2014. Over the next 3 years, we're going to celebrate together the inspiring history of UTEP's first 100 years and the exciting future that awaits all of us as we stride confidently into UTEP's second century of distinguished service to this U.S.-Mexico border region. Planning for these centennial events and activities is well underway with the support of the 2014 Commission, a group of 100 UTEP alumni and supporters, faculty and staff, and I invite those Commission members who are here today, as well as members of our Centennial Campaign Leadership Council and Development Board, to please stand so we can thank you all for your commitment to UTEP. Please stand. Thank you for all that you do. We recently added to our centennial story the attainment of another major milestone when this past May we conferred UTEP's 100,000th degree. Just think of the impact that those 100,000 degrees have had on this Paso del Norte region, and think too about what this region might have been if UTEP hadn't served over the past 100 years as the primary catalyst for its human and economic development and quality of life. These 100,000 transformed lives also serve as a powerful reminder of what a great privilege it is for all of us to be a part of this institutional success story, where access and excellence commitments have come together to create more and better opportunities for talented young people in this region to achieve their ever bigger dreams and to contribute their abundant talents to a brighter future for all of us. In sharp contrast to all this good news, however, the Texas legislature met during the past year, and the outcome of its deliberations was disappointing for all public universities whose appropriations were severely reduced. In UTEP's case, the loss of revenue amounts to $27 million over the next 2 years, in addition to another $10 million in budget rescissions during the past 2 years. This appropriation reduction is obviously significant and a sobering sign of what has been described by some as the new normal in state funding for higher education. And universities have regularly had to turn to tuition increases to fill the revenue gap. This changing higher education funding model is especially difficult to manage in a setting such as UTEP, where students' income levels are lower than those at peer institutions. This upper Rio Grande region of Texas has the lowest median income in the state, and nearly a third of UTEP students report a family income of $20,000 a year or less. A commitment to access in this context means that affordability considerations must weigh very heavily as we deliberate tuition and fees. There's been a lot of recent talk about improving efficiency and productivity in public higher education, but doing more with less has been a way of life at UTEP for a long time, because our commitment to an access and excellence mission has absolutely required it. At $3,400 per semester, UTEP's cost of attendance is at least $1,000 less than at any of our peer institutions. With affordability such a huge issue for most UTEP students, A major institutional priority has been to increase the availability of both financial aid and scholarship resources. Thanks to Craig Westman for his success in increasing efficiency in financial aid over the past year, enabling the processing of nearly 26,000 applications, a 9% increase over the previous year, and more than 16,800 total awards, a 10% increase. In scholarships, nearly $11.5 million were awarded to highly competitive students at UTEP last year, representing a 14.5% increase over the previous year. These merit scholarships have played a key role in UTEP's success in recruiting this region's most talented and highly motivated students, including 63% of this region's top 10% high school graduates who attend a public university in Texas. Thanks to our scholarship donors, whose generous support has enabled us to increase total annual scholarship awards over the past 10 years from $2.8 million to $11.5 million a year. Faculty and staff members across the campus are also highly aware of our students' affordability issues and seek to achieve efficiencies and reduce costs for students wherever they can. In addition to such successful strategies as installment tuition payments and the revolving book loan fund designed to help students manage their cash flow, rising textbook prices have motivated other innovations. Among them are e-textbooks and textbook rentals in the bookstore, which saved students an estimated $750,000 last year and promise even greater savings this year, and the English department's publication of the Guide to First-Year Composition as an e-book with custom editions available as rentals, reducing students' costs by more than half. Thanks to Fernando Padula and Beth Brunk Chavez for their leadership of these efforts. As important as such efficiencies are, UTEP's aspirations extend well beyond simply accepting and coping with the new normal. Combining our commitments to both access and excellence, we have embarked on an exciting institutional transformation as we pursue our vision of becoming the first national research university, or Tier 1, with a 21st century student demographic. Continued progress in changing our institutional culture as we proceed toward Tier 1 will require expanded research and doctoral program capacity and enhanced undergraduate education opportunities, which in turn require the recruitment and retention of highly competitive faculty and students, which in turn require state-of-the-art facilities, equipment, technology, and improved business practices. It's all connected, and it all costs money. In this difficult economic climate, all of this institutional development will require even greater operating efficiencies, enhanced revenues, and repurposing of institutional resources. UTEP's vision of becoming a 21st century research university is deeply grounded in our long-standing commitment to the region we have served for the past century. Today, we strive to be the university that our students have every right to expect, a university that creates a broad range of educational opportunities for all residents of this region, an institution that fully engages all its students in a collective quest for excellence in all that we do, a university whose graduates are extraordinarily well prepared to compete successfully with their peers from institutions across the U.S., indeed across the globe. I'm extremely pleased to be able to report that despite our state funding challenges and disappointing municipal indifference to them, UTEP has made significant strides during the past year in pursuing the research university capacity building required for continued progress toward Tier 1. First and foremost, a university's excellence rests squarely on the quality of its faculty. Their professional accomplishments and commitment to the success of the students we serve determine our success in achieving UTEP's mission. We've been highly successful in attracting and retaining teacher scholars in departments across the campus whose research, scholarship, and artistic work is widely recognized and respected, and who at the same time are unusually dedicated to sharing their knowledge and passion for this work through their teaching and mentoring of both graduate and undergraduate students. One indicator of the success of our faculty recruiting and retention efforts is the steady growth in UTEP's funded research portfolio. This past year, faculty and staff submitted an all-time record of 618 proposals, up from 559 last year, seeking $358 million in grant funding, nearly $50 million more than in 2010. Grant funding of successful proposals also increased during the past year with receipt of 188 awards totaling $54 million, an increase of 10% over the previous year. And annual research expenditures this past year are expected to exceed $70 million, setting another UTEP record. This continued progress in securing increased research funding and expanding the scope of externally funded research activity is especially remarkable in the current context of shrinking federal and state agency budgets and increasingly intense competition for research support. Our congratulations to all of the faculty and staff members who contributed to this continued progress in securing grant funding, and our thanks to Vice President Roberto Segueda and the ORSP team for their outstanding support of these efforts. Although it would be a really long afternoon if I were to acknowledge all 188 of the very interesting individual grants awarded during the past year, a few examples will capture the flavor. In health and biomedical sciences and engineering, Professor Sid Das in biological sciences received a $2.2 million 5-year R01 grant, top of the line, from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases to develop new therapies to control Giardia lamblia, a waterborne parasite that is responsible for intestinal infection affecting millions of children worldwide. With $2.1 million in National Institute on Drug Abuse funding, Project VIDA, Vulnerability Issues in Drug Abuse, is a multidisciplinary effort led by psychology chair Eddie Castañeda and including faculty from psychology, biological sciences, health sciences, and languages and linguistics to create a collaborative research and training environment that advances knowledge about drug addiction and drug use prevention in a border community. In the energy and environment area, Bill Hargrove, director of the Center for Environmental Resource Management, secured more than $3.4 million in funding, including an NSF grant focused on sustainability issues along the border. And with Elaine Hampton in teacher education and Wenwai Lee in civil engineering, an EPA grant to foster greater public understanding of environmental health and justice issues relating to air quality. In national defense and border security, another of our research priorities, Ricardo Van Borges in electrical and computer engineering was funded by the Department of Defense for research on the detection and imaging of improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. And the FBI provided support for research by Christian Meissner and Harmon Hosch in psychology on the mechanisms associated with gathering diagnostic information. In the area of 21st century education, a $3.5 million NSF grant renewal to CASI, a national consortium of 10 Hispanic-serving institutions and their partners led by UTEP Associate VP for Research and Professor of Computer Science Ann Gates, validated the successful first phase of this project in which the graduation of Hispanics in computer science increased by nearly 25% at CASI institutions compared with a national decline of 39% elsewhere. Ben Flores, interim dean of the graduate school, successfully secured a $600,000 grant to increase the number of senior engineering and computer science students, particularly Hispanics, who successfully pursue doctoral degrees in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. And in collaboration with Pat Witherspoon, dean of the College of Liberal Arts, a grant from the U.S. Department of Education to increase the number of Hispanic doctoral students. Grant funding also provides many attractive new job opportunities on campus for UTEP students. Most students must work while attending UTEP, and creating on-campus jobs has become a very effective strategy to enable them to learn while they're earning. Undergraduate research experiences have also been shown to increase both the confidence and motivation of first-generation students to pursue graduate degrees. To expand these opportunities for our students, UTEP has successfully launched a new Office of Undergraduate Research Experiences under the able leadership of Dr. Lourdes Echegoyen. We thank her and Dean Ánimo Robel Sosa for their strong commitment to this initiative. We're also continuing to work hard at building capacity for and gaining UT System and Coordinating Board authorization to offer additional graduate degree programs at UTEP, especially at the doctoral level, because they have a highly synergistic role to play in UTEP's transformation into a national research university. During the past year, UTEP succeeded in gaining authorization from the Coordinating Board to offer 2 additional doctoral programs. The first, a Doctor of Nursing Practice, adds to our growing health professions programs, which are contributing significantly to improving the quality and availability of health care in this region. We thank Dean Elias Provencio Vasquez and the nursing faculty for their success in securing approval for and implementing this important new degree program. The second new doctoral degree in the Department of Biological Sciences is a PhD in ecology and evolutionary biology, which has as its focus arid and semi-arid regions across the world, including, of course, the Chihuahuan Desert region in which we live. Thanks to Dean Ánimo Robel Sosa, Chair Rob Kirkin, and the biology faculty for spearheading this important program, and to SERP Director Roy Matthew and Provost Junius Gonzalez for their tireless support. These 2 new doctoral programs bring UTEP's total to 19, with several others in development, and overall doctoral enrollment at UTEP has grown this year to 656 students, a nearly 10% increase over last year. The momentum is building. Graduate programs in the College of Health Sciences have experienced especially rapid growth in response to the demand for healthcare professionals in this region and beyond, with 145 additional graduate students enrolled since last summer. A number of programs achieved major milestones in their development as well, including the successful accreditation of 6 of them in a single year. Quite an accomplishment. Especially interesting was the new master's degree in rehabilitation counseling, which set a speed record for program development at UTEP. New director Tim Tansey joined us in 2009. The program was initially approved in late 2009, admitted its first class in May 2010, and has already secured not only its accreditation, but also grant funding to support the students who enroll in it. Nice work, Dr. Tansey. Dean Kathy Curtis and the directors and faculty of all of these programs in the College of Health Sciences deserve our thanks for the great work that they've done over the past year in expediting so many of these programs. What's exciting, too, is that as our graduate programs help move UTEP toward Tier 1, they're also attracting increased national attention and recognition for their role in changing the educational and professional profile of Latinos nationally. For the second straight year, Hispanic Business Magazine ranked UTEP's MBA the #1 graduate business program for Hispanics in the United States, and our graduate programs in engineering were again ranked among the top 10 for the 6th year in a row. Congratulations to Dean Richard Schuphoister for engineering's continued success, and to Business Dean Bob Nachman and Assistant Dean Laura Urivarri, who quickly converted their vision of community-based graduate business education into a nationally ranked program. Graduate programs are growing at UTEP in response to increased demand driven by rising student educational aspirations in this region and workplace expectations in many professional fields, especially health sciences and nursing. As a result, faculty recruitment at UTEP often focuses on specific research and graduate program development to ensure that these graduate programs meet the highest professional standards. However, we never lose sight of the critical role that all faculty members must play in enhancing undergraduate education as well. After all, undergraduate students continue to constitute more than 80% of UTEP's overall enrollment, and nearly 90% of those undergraduate students are residents of this region who are our primary focus. We can all be very proud that so many UTEP faculty members are well known not only for their research, scholarly, and artistic accomplishments, but also for their dedication to and success in teaching and mentoring undergraduate students. Just last month, 7 UTEP faculty members were selected in competition with peers from all 9 UT System academic institutions as recipients of the prestigious UT System Board of Regents Teaching Excellence Award. These outstanding faculty members are with us on stage today, and I'm deeply honored and pleased to recognize them now. I'll ask them to stand as I call their names, and I'll ask you to hold your applause until I've introduced all of them. Rochelle Thieves, Professor of Art. Steve Stafford, Professor of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering. Stacy Sowards, Associate Professor of Communication. Carolyn Mitchell, Senior Lecturer in Communication. Larry Lesser, Professor of Mathematical Sciences. Bridget Conter, Associate Professor of Geological Sciences. Keith Erickson, Assistant Professor of History. Congratulations again to all of you. During the past year, many other UTEP faculty and staff members, students, and programs have been honored with a variety of national and international awards and recognitions, and through them, the story of the quality of this institution and our remarkable transformation continues to spread. Let me share just a couple of examples. 2 faculty members in education were honored as Fulbright Scholars this past year, Murat Shoshanov to the Russian Federation and Reynaldo Reyes to Chile. In creative writing, 2 books by Ben Sainz, one a novel and the other a book of poetry, were named National Top 10 Books of the Year by the American Library Association and the Huffington Post. And books by Sasha Pimental Chacon and Danielle Chacon and Mimi Gladstein were winners of American Book Awards. Many other indicators of excellence help paint an even more complete picture of UTEP's growing national prominence, telling the story of the leading role that UTEP is playing in the current transformation of U.S. higher education. Among them, UTEP ranks 2nd among all U.S. colleges and universities in the total number of degrees awarded to Hispanics, ranks 1st nationally in the number of Hispanic graduates in both nursing and education, and among the top 5 in most other degree areas. We are clearly at the forefront of responding to the national imperative of increasing college completion among the fast-growing U.S. Latino population. The quality of UTEP education is validated in the success of graduates of our Law School Preparation Institute as they compete for law school admissions. 90% of all participants in the Law School Preparation Institute who apply to law school are admitted, compared to 67% nationally. And of those, 30% are admitted to top 15 law schools, compared to only 5% nationally. Quite a record. All of UTEP's progress in moving into national prominence as this country's model Hispanic serving institution rests on the pioneering systemic reform work over the past 20 years to raise academic aspirations and attainment of all young people in this region through the work of the El Paso Collaborative for Academic Excellence and many other outreach initiatives and partnerships with area school districts, the El Paso Community College, and civic and business organizations. Thanks to Dr. Susana Navarro for her leadership of the collaborative over the past 20 years, and to Gary Edens and the directors of such highly successful programs as Upward Bound, Educational Talent Search, College Assistant Migrant Program, Gear Up, and the High School Equivalency Program for fostering smooth educational pathways for young people from pre-K through graduate school. One of the most exciting new pathways has been the Accelerated High School Associate's Degree Completion Program offered at 5 early college high schools in school districts across El Paso County. This innovative program enables highly motivated young people to earn their high school diplomas and associate's degrees concurrently and transfer to UTEP as juniors, saving them not only 2 years' time, but also the tuition and fees that their first 2 years of college would have cost them. And they are performing well in their upper division courses at UTEP. In fact, one of them has set an even more blistering pace. After earning her bachelor's degree in psychology from UTEP within a year of graduating from high school, she's now enrolled in graduate school, supported by her financial aid savings. Special thanks to Donna Eckel for her enthusiastic and creative leadership of UTEP's engagement in the early college high school program locally, and for her outstanding efforts to spread the word in Texas and nationally about the importance of such accelerated higher education access strategies. UTEP's commitment to the success of young people in this region is also at the heart of our vision of becoming a national research university. Setting a Tier 1 goal at UTEP is not a relentless quest for status. Instead, it is directly tied to serving our students well by setting the highest possible expectations for them and for ourselves, and creating an enriched campus climate where we can all succeed in meeting them. And what's interesting about this approach is that authentic national stature and visibility are coming to us as a result of our success in achieving these goals. We are building a national reputation by successfully serving a region. Campus climate may mean many things in U.S. higher education, but at its core at UTEP, it characterizes an environment in which student, faculty, and staff aspirations and accomplishments steadily grow. Fueled by an energizing vision of our promise to become the first national research university with a 21st century student demographic, and enriched by our collective commitment to seek continuous improvement and high standards of excellence in all that we do. For many years, UTEP has engaged in intense self-assessment and data-driven decision-making, particularly in the area of student success, because we learned early on that most standard metrics misrepresent us and our students to external audiences, and they divert us from the fundamental campus culture change required to reach our research university goal while remaining true to our commitment to access. Metrics matter, and there is no one who understands that more clearly than Roy Matthew, Director of the Center for Institutional Evaluation, Research, and Planning. We thank him and his team for their deep and abiding interest in the many issues we face as we lead U.S. higher education in developing a new research university model for the 21st century. Campus climate is the sum total of who we are and what we do. Factors contributing to campus climate may be highly visible or behind the scenes and unsung. In the highly visible category is the explosion of new and renovated facilities on the UTEP campus. Nearly 1 million additional square feet of teaching, research, and support space have been added over the past decade. 1 million. And an investment of nearly $300 million has been made in campus facilities during the past 3 years alone. Cranes, cement mixers, and barricades have become a maze through which we have all been challenged to maneuver every day. Congratulations to all of us for our truly admirable forbearance during this extremely intense, but obviously very exciting, construction cycle. The project that's been the most prominently visible to the campus and the surrounding community and to passing traffic on Interstate 10 is the recently completed Health Sciences and Nursing building, whose design has taken UTEP's Bhutanese architecture to new heights. We will celebrate its grand opening on September 29, and we hope that you'll be with us to celebrate. Meanwhile, health sciences and nursing students, faculty, and staff have happily settled into their beautiful state-of-the-art facility, featuring the largest and most advanced simulation laboratory anywhere in the U.S. Southwest. Many thanks to Deans Kathy Curtis and Elias Provencio Vasquez and Simulation Laboratory Director Ronnie Stout for their leadership, and to faculty, staff, and students for assuring a smooth transition from their former home on Campbell Street downtown. Another new facility that has generated tremendous excitement is the spectacular $32 million expansion of the Student Recreation Center, a world-class facility in which UTEP students can take special pride. For the past 6 years, it's been UTEP students who have led this initiative, identifying the need, promoting its importance to fellow students, conducting a student referendum to assess themselves a fee to retire the bonds required to construct it, and participating actively in every step of its planning and design. The result of students' sustained commitment to this project is an extraordinary facility which, together with the soon-to-be completed renovation of the original swimming and fitness center to which it's connected, will have a major impact on UTEP's quality of life for generations of students to come. Congratulations to our students on this truly remarkable accomplishment. Several other new and renovated facilities are changing our skyline, including the imposing new chemistry and computer science building, which is expected to open by the beginning of the spring semester, and major additions and renovations to engineering and physical science facilities also due for completion within the next year. Meanwhile, to be sure that we are well prepared to respond to UTEP's growth in enrollment, predicted to reach 30,000 students by 2020, we've recently updated UTEP's campus master plan to ensure that our facilities and the connections among them continue to be developed in a cost-effective, functionally responsive, and aesthetically pleasing manner. Thanks to Greg McNichol and Ed Soltero for their oversight of the largest construction and renovation program that UTEP has ever undertaken, and for their commitment to sustaining the beauty and integrity of UTEP's unique Bhutanese architecture and Chihuahuan desert setting. The operation of facilities, their upkeep and oversight, contribute to campus climate, impacting our efficiency, productivity, and morale, but typically they're unsung, so let's sing about them. Under Jorge Villalobos' able leadership, UTEP's facility services team has not only continued its good work in maintaining UTEP's buildings and grounds, but also stepped up its performance level in response to the complex challenges of such new facilities as the Biosciences Research Building and the soon-to-open nanofabrication facility in engineering. This same team successfully weathered several unprecedented encounters with Mother Nature this past year. The utility infrastructure collapse during the unprecedented Big Freeze in early February brought out the very best in UTEP teamwork as researchers and laboratory staff, facility services crews, information technology, veterinary services, student affairs, environmental health and safety, campus police, and many others worked tirelessly to protect our people, our programs, and our facilities. Facility Services is working systematically to design new buildings to meet LEED specifications, redesign landscaping to conserve water, and retrofit existing facilities to reduce energy and water consumption. Collaborations with campus researchers are leading to efficiencies, including a grant of nearly $1 million from the state of Texas to install a 175-watt solar array at UTEP's Facility Services Complex. We thank Ralph Martinez in engineering for his outstanding leadership in the area of renewable energy research and development on our campus. Students have become active partners in UTEP's commitment to the environment as well, with adoption of a new green fee from which an initial allocation was made this past year. As remarkable as UTEP's physical transformation over the past several years has been, we all know that creating a truly competitive campus climate goes well beyond facilities. All students, faculty, and staff members are both contributors and beneficiaries of UTEP's successful effort to create our own indigenous version of a Tier 1 campus climate. And UTEP's progress toward this goal requires each and every one of us to play our part, aiming higher, thinking harder, and dreaming bigger, and thereby enabling UTEP to achieve national benchmarks in an authentic UTEP way. Recognizing the importance of preparing UTEP students to compete in the 21st century global economy, an international dimension has been incorporated into many UTEP programs at all levels by developing ties with sister institutions across the globe and creating innovative international experiences that are far better attuned to UTEP students' needs than traditional study abroad programs might be. Our partnership with Victoria University in Melbourne, Australia continues to grow. We're very honored to have with us today Victoria University Chancellor George Papas, his colleague Dr. Roger Slee, and several Victoria University students who are spending this fall semester with us at UTEP. I'd like to ask them to stand so we can salute them. Chancellor Papas. On the international front as well, and despite the many recent challenges associated with working in Mexico, the College of Education has grown its partnerships with Mexican universities and replicated its highly successful mother-daughter program in Ciudad Juarez, all with support of USAID. Thanks to Dean Josie Tinajero for her steadfast and creative efforts to continue supporting our Mexican colleagues and the young people they seek to serve. Faculty and staff are also creating opportunities for UTEP students to participate in academic and professional competitions with peers from across the country, thereby building their confidence and poise, while also increasing others' awareness of the caliber of UTEP students and programs. Our students are always extremely well prepared for such competitions, and with the many honors and awards that they've proudly brought back to the campus, I'll borrow a phrase from Coach Mike Price and say that they've definitely gone from being underdogs to being wonder dogs. In the Department of Communication, for example, the UTEP advertising team won the Western District title in the American Advertising Federation's national competition, and the forensics team was ranked among the top 20 in the nation. Thanks to Carolyn Mitchell and Mary Trejo for their sustained success in preparing our talented UTEP students to perform with polish at the national level. Not to be outdone, our cheerleaders and mascot also gained national recognition. The cheerleading squad, under the able leadership of David Vasquez, took first place in the National Cheerleading Co-Ed Championship, and Pay Dirt Pete, our beloved mascot, lost by a whisker in the final round of the nation's best university mascot competition. Closer to home, UTEP has developed a campus culture of service learning and civic engagement, which is especially important on a campus where 90% of the students are part of the surrounding community. UTEP students, faculty, and staff enthusiastically engage in reaching out to share their time and talents with a broad range of community organizations and activities. This past year, UTEP earned the coveted Carnegie Foundation designation as an engaged institution. UTEP is one of only 146 public universities nationally to receive this designation over the past 5 years. Congratulations to the Center for Civic Engagement for its leadership in competing for national recognition, and thanks to Azuri Gonzalez, Donna Eckel, their partners in student affairs, and the many UTEP students, faculty, and staff who enabled us to earn this award. Fort Bliss is playing an increasingly prominent role in defining this region, and building partnerships with Fort Bliss has become a high priority for UTEP. In recognition of this commitment, UTEP has been designated by the Department of Defense as a military-friendly school. Special thanks to Junius Gonzalez, Pat Witherspoon, and Craig Westman for their leadership of efforts to identify the academic program needs and interests of the fast-growing population at Fort Bliss, and responding effectively to those needs with accessible programming, including online courses and degrees. At an astonishing pace, technology is transforming higher education institutions across the world, and it's certainly reshaping UTEP's approaches to all aspects of our operations, from teaching and learning to research to outreach and to our business transactions. Online learning has been growing rapidly at UTEP. Last year, more than 350 class sections with more than 10,000 enrollments. A technology support center was established in the library to assist students, faculty, and staff with a broad range of technology services, from software workshops and computer repair to video conferencing suites. Thanks to Frank Poblano and Robert Stakes for their continued commitment to expand the library's active engagement in 21st century learning, and to Steve Ryder for his enthusiastic support of student-centered initiatives like this. As part of its commitment to apply technology to make its processes and services more efficient, functional, and user-friendly, Enrollment Services has replaced the printed class schedule with an online class search format and provided students and advisors with capacity for electronic degree auditing. Special thanks to Craig Westman and Chris Ulibarri for this and so many other examples of their fine work. The most ambitious single software project ever undertaken at UTEP was launched during the past year. This coordinated effort to improve HR and finance systems, which will run on PeopleSoft software at the UT Systems Remote Data Center in Fort Worth, is led by Vice President for Business Affairs Cindy Villa and managed by Iris Niestas. A large UTEP team has been hard at work during the past year on this major systems conversion project, which is expected to provide us with the capacity required to support UTEP's growth and our National Research University aspirations. Although the designated team has primary responsibility for this project, all of us will have a role to play as work progresses toward anticipated implementation in September 2012. And I know that team members will greatly appreciate your support and patience as this process unfolds. Campus events and activities are among the most highly visible signs of an institution's level of internal engagement and its quality of life impact on the surrounding region. They provide both on and off-campus constituencies with opportunities to learn, offer support and assistance to others, form new associations, and be entertained. With an estimated 35,000 participants this year, Minorpalooza has become the back-to-school festival and pep rally on everyone's calendar, attracting UTEP students, faculty, and staff and their families, as well as increasing numbers of community participants. Thanks to Interim Vice President Gary Edens and all those who work with him in student affairs for their creativity and enthusiastic support of the full calendar of activities that they plan, organize, and sponsor each year. We enjoyed a robust schedule of recitals and concerts and productions presented by the many talented students and faculty in the music department, in theater arts and dance, and UTEP Dinner Theater, as well as engaging exhibitions in the Rubin Center, the Centennial Museum, and other campus venues. Special thanks to T. Andre Fagan for the excitement that he's created with the UTEP Marching Miners in the Sun Bowl, and for his special interest in researching the history of UTEP bands and band music just in time for our Centennial commemoration. The Special Events Department offered a full entertainment schedule during the past year, selling a total of 550,000 tickets to 450 events, with revenues exceeding $7 million, featuring such performers as Shakira, Monster Jam, and Michael Bublé. Thanks to Jorge Vasquez for the success he's achieved in bringing such a broad range of exciting programming to the UTEP campus and the El Paso community. During the past year, UTEP Minor Athletics hosted in some of the finest intercollegiate sports venues in the United States a large number of men's and women's competitions, including the Conference USA men's and women's basketball tournaments, which attracted student athletes and fans to El Paso from across the United States. The UTEP women's golf team won the conference championship. Both football and men's basketball teams played in postseason competitions, and two UTEP women athletes, Stacy Townsend and Blessing Okabari, were finalists for highly prestigious national awards. I arrived in El Paso 40 years ago to fulfill a one-year contract as a visiting assistant professor of languages and linguistics, without a clue that I'd actually just embarked on a somewhat longer and far more eventful journey. The UTEP that I joined in 1971 and the one that surrounded me as I accepted the Board of Regents' offer to serve as president in 1988 were remarkably different from the UTEP we all know today. Although our many splendid new campus facilities proclaim proudly that UTEP has undergone a significant campus transformation, we all know that universities are fundamentally about people, and I'm sure that those of you who have been at UTEP for a while, like some of you who were honored today, will agree that even more deeply transformational than our physical changes have been the changes in attitudes, aspirations, and expectations among UTEP students, faculty and staff, alumni, and friends. We expect more of ourselves and of each other. And with growing pride and confidence, we have become both a more authentic and a more ambitious institution. We have embraced our mission to provide both access and excellence to all residents of this region. We're proud that our student population now mirrors that of the region, and we're prouder still that our students' extraordinary accomplishments have so strongly validated the path that we've chosen. As we approach our Centennial commemoration in 2014, we will reflect often on our distinguished 100-year journey from the Texas State School of Mines through the College of Mines and Texas Western College to today's proudly transformed UTEP. But our Centennial will also be an opportunity to look ahead toward the next leg of this journey as we launch the second century of UTEP's service to this region and continue the confident pursuit of our vision to become the first national research university with a 21st century student demographic. Thanks to each and every one of you for all you've done to contribute to another highly successful year at UTEP. And special thanks to you for your commitment to continue being a part of UTEP's remarkable journey. I can't imagine better travel companions than all of you. Go Miners.
Thank you, President Natalicio. If there's no further business, this convocation, a meeting of the general faculty, is now adjourned. I invite you to join us now for a reception at the Stanley and Gerald Rubin Center for the Visual Arts. The ushers will direct you to the reception.